So here at the Spitfire Ground this evening, special guest for a bit of a dinner, Matthew Fleming, former Kent captain, just telling me that you come back regularly, a regular visitor, but seeing some changes to the old place here.
Well, I mean, the good thing is that the changes, that most of the changes you see are the superficial changes, you know, the development of the ground, but the spirit of the club doesn't change. The spirit of the club is still very much, it still seems to be very much the same, which is fantastic. And it's an interesting time for the club, and if we look at England at the moment being in transition, well, I think Kent are in transition. They've got a good new young vice captain in Sam North East, who's got a great opportunity. The jury's still out on Sam slightly, and it's a great opportunity for him to step up and help Rob, and you know, we hope for great things from this team.
You're still keeping a keen eye, not just on the team, but on the club overall from afar?
Yeah, well, I have to. I'm on the board of the ECB now, so we get to discuss most of the counties, and English cricket's actually in a much healthier place, the counties, than people realise. We now have probably 17 really good sustainable business plans, which Kent, I'm thrilled to say, is one under the guidance of James Clifford, who's doing a great job.
Just this week, I mean, you mentioned there being part of the ECB. This week we've seen big news in the ICC and the governing of the World Game. How is that sort of progressing? How is the game changing on a world level?
Well, it's a big question. Well, I think the World Game had to change. The ICC was absolutely fit for purpose when it was founded, and the World Game has moved on with the evolution of different 2020 leagues, the increased commercial clout of one or two key members of the ICC, and I think India, not surprisingly and understandably, thought that perhaps they weren't getting the returns on the investment that they were making and the eyeballs and the money they were providing to world cricket. So I think that the world order had to evolve, and it's great that England are involved in leading that evolution, if you like. And I think Giles Clark and the ECB, the ECB and the Cricket Australia seem to have done a really good job. I mean, time will tell. And obviously, it's quite a fluid situation at the moment. I think things have been agreed in principle, but I think cricket definitely needs strong leadership, and that's what it's getting at the moment. So that's good.
You personally, do you ever get to strap the pads on at all these days? You're completely retired.
I can barely bend down to put the pads on. I'm lucky enough to be chairman of cricket at Lords, so I probably play 2 or 3 times a year for the MCC. And I pretend not to care, but I still mind like heck. I just can't see now. I can't see properly. I can't run very fast. But apart from that, it's all fine.
You're going well along there.
Yeah.
Just one thing to finish up on here. You touched on it when you were speaking this evening. 2020, you retired, what, 2-3 years before 2020 got going. You were the player made for 2023.
I know, what a frustration. And actually, as a result, I've never really got into watching it, because I think it would frustrate me even more. But I've watched it a little bit this week. In fact, funny enough, last night I watched the highlights of the women. Charlotte Edwards, good Kent lady, leading the England ladies team to a 9-wicket win and retaining the Ashes. So, although there are elements of 2020 cricket that I do think cheapen the game with the size of the boundaries and some of the game being set up in favour of the batsmen to such a degree, but I do think as an entertainment spectacle and as a way of introducing new children to the excitement of watching and playing cricket, I think it's been fantastic.
Well, Matthew Fleming, former Kent captain, not living in Kent anymore, but still a man of Kent, or Kentish man.
I never understood which
one
I
can never get which one I am. But anyway, great to see Matthew Fleming with us here at the Spitfire Ground this evening.
No problem, thank you.